Froggen was on Golden Guardian. You know, this is X-Team. They know very well his tendencies and his champions. I don't think that Goldenglue should be playing something like a LeBlanc into Froggen, because Froggen is very accustomed and happy to play those control mages into LeBlanc and defensively outperform the LeBlanc early, not give up kills, and then outscale that champion. So I would rather have Golden Guardians head for something like the Zoe or Syndra for Goldenglue, and we'll see if they actually get to this point. A lot of the bans have been actually switched up also, since Kali was taken off the permaban list as well, and we're seeing some top lane focus here, as well as Lee Sin banned away from Closer. Definitely one of his better champions.
So there's Lucian taken away, so that's not going into the top lane for Huni either. Elise does get picked up, so Grig can have some comfortability in the jungle. And we'll see what Golden Guardians feels like they can prioritize as a 1-2.
And throwing down an Elise early pick as well gives away a couple things for Dig. They want to go early pressure, but also the possibilities of things like Kiana and these AD threats. Jace even a possibility on 310 as well. But, oh man, Ornn already picked up here for Golden Guardians, and they've got some team fight set up, Riv.
I like this, because we did see Froggen play this in the middle yesterday. So
True.
They can flex Ornn, if you will. Gangplank's going to get locked in for Huni, one of his favorites. They still have a hover on this one, but I don't see why not. Maybe they wait for later, they give it to Golden Guardians to think about, but it's locked in.
Yeah, because like we talked about, the AD threats really empowered by the AP jungle here of Elise picked up early. So they want to grab Huni, his go-to carry champion for the top side, especially with Rumble receiving several nerfs on 10-3. Took some power out of the scrap shield for him. A little bit lower priority there, as we've seen him kind of drop out. Misfortune for Johnsun on the bottom side. And when you have a Gangplank on the top side, that definitely sets up some big AoE plays possible for Dig on the bottom side of the map. So it looks like they agreed and maybe focusing around that 2v2.
Some pirate synergy. You need a pike in there now. You get all Bilgewater. Could be a good spot for a Braum on the side of Golden Guardians as they get through supports here to stop the MF, but then you're kind of just made to sit back in lane. So we'll see what Golden Guardians goes with. They did pick up the Jarvan for the final pick of our first phase as we go into the second phase of bans.
All right, so they don't want to let Froggen play the LeBlanc, but I think they also are in the camp. They don't want to play it themselves, so they do agree. They ban out the LeBlanc here. It's kind of hard to throw more bans at Froggen, though, because he plays so many champions. See if Golden Guardians want to respond with some solo lane focus of their own, or if they actually want to start targeting supports, because Aphelios, very well known for not doing so well if you don't have some defensive support for yourself. Braum and Tahm Kench both still available.
Yep. 15 seconds left as they run down the timer on this one to make sure they are getting every single possible thought through. And right down to 0 on this one. They're going to ban the Nautilus. They feel like the engage coming from that will be a little bit worse than the Braum. What does Dignitas have now on the left side? Dignitas the one at 4-3 for this game.
I would honestly ban the Zoe, but they go with the
Zoe or Syndra.
Yeah, they go with the Syndra instead. So I think that should be the Zoe pick for Goldenglue, because that feels so much more versatile, especially in the current meta. It's one of the blind picks that feels really good. I don't think that Dignitas will feel too bad about it. Golden Guardian's going to save their solo lane pick till last so they can see what Froggen goes with. The Goldenglue try and counter. The Leona Misfortune classic matchup. Leona, plenty of lockdowns there with the CC, and extra damage comes through from Sunlight. So that plus Gangplank is a recipe for success.
The hover coming out. I also always love Leona versus Thresh lanes because it's a game of, can you hit the flay or are you going to miss the flay when I Zenith Blade? Once you get level 6 with Leona, you're just into the fight. But those early levels can really decide what happens down there with the engages between the supports. Orianna is going to be locked in for Froggen. He gets another play on the Lady of Clockwork. And Diana gets locked in on the side of Golden Guardians.
Full steam ahead here for Golden Guardians. Some melee divers for themselves. Diana behind the Jarvan is quite nice, because if they get that Ornn engage, you get Cataclysm to hold people in place for the second activation of the Ornn ultimate. And Diana's ult now, that they've changed it, all this AoE damage comes crashing around when you're able to group up and lock down the enemy team.
Yeah.
This could be a very big AoE synergy here for the Golden Guardians. But of course, like we mentioned, there's a lot of possibilities here for Dig, especially if they do focus with their ultimates onto the bottom half of the map pretty early on. And that is what you want to lead to Dragon Control.
We do have those ultimates. Omnipresent one from Gangplank going up against the side of Golden Guardians. I'm excited to see what happens in the mid lane as well as the bot. This Diana versus Orianna can be quite a skill matchup. Once Diana gets 6, if she's roaming, you need to be able to follow her, or she might even just be killing the Orianna. That power becomes big, and Goldenglue loves to solo out champions. But like you said, Kobe, Froggen with some of the most solo kills in that mid lane this split. We know he loves to go hard. I cannot wait to see what happens here. Huni was saying he might bring out the Sona, but obviously not at the end of week 4 here, maybe sometime in the future. Gangplank versus Ornn on that top side. They should both come out pretty strong on that lane, so the fight phase will be awesome.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a funny matchup because they both scale really well. You know, Gangplank gets extra money, and then Ornn will be able to provide extra money as well for the team.
Never hurts.
Once he gets to the late game.
All right, we are on to the Rift for Dignitas versus Golden Guardians. And it is going to be quite a matchup. Again, bot side, Johnsun and Aphromoo versus FBI and Keith. How does this lane go out? Keith again on that Thresh. Will he be able to hit the minion hook that they can set up that Oso took down the TL bot lane? And it's talked about till this day. What a history.
It was a really good play, honestly.
Sometimes that's all it takes, is a little thing you've seen a million times, but you don't use it all the time.
Yeah, I think they put out a special video on it even, actually, too. It was good communication. It is really simple, but, you know, the minion standing in front, that double wolf was standing behind. FBI kills it with the double up for Misfortune as Keith casts his death sentence, so they just talked about beforehand. Right through the minion, basically.
That's how I killed the Freak the first time in the Brawlers game.
It works really well. Sometimes people even used to take like Smite on Blitzcrank to do them themselves.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same sort of trick. People would lease in like the
Yep.
you know, Smite minions, throw the Q through the minions, always able to catch people off guard. In this one, though, I am going to keep a very close eye on these junglers.
All right.
Because, again, some more stats looking at these two. Mark didn't want to talk about where he ranks Grig at the moment.
Oof.
But if you sort by KDA, then Grig will show up at the very bottom. The only one below him in KDA currently is Broxa off that one game of Team Liquid. So he has definitely had a rough time of it, even with the early success of Dignitas. See what Closer can do. Jarvan, very adept at getting out there early, and as we know, Closer actually has liked to play with Goldenglue a lot as well. So if you get red buff here, he actually skipped Gromp, so he's probably going to do maybe Krugs to get the level 3 on top side of the map.
So in that, to lead in and get your idea, would you say that's kind of appropriate for Grig, or do you think he's actually doing more behind the scenes that doesn't really reflect that KDA?
That's a rough one, man.
Okay, yeah, see? No, that's enough of an answer. It's been a year for him. He was playing a bit better. He says his wrist is feeling better, but still coming up with everything that'll help the early game for the team. Seems to be coming from more of the solo lanes, like we were talking about Froggen and Huni, or the bot side. See, Grig can have a pretty decent game on this one. Already starting off on that Elise as he heads back towards.
I will say, one thing for Grig, his smites for the epic objectives is always on point. He's got a lot of Dragon steals, a lot of Baron steals to his name. Meanwhile, though, in the mid lane here, Orianna, Froggen doing a good job. If you watch his actual lane play, he positions himself in kind of a diagonal from Goldenglue, so he can throw that Q through the minions. Grig up to the bottom, and he's looking for some first blood money.
3, could be a flash here coming in. Keith's going to get some distance. FBI now in Sever him to get a bit of movement speed and healing in, as well as dishing out that damage to sever his opponents. And they're able to get out alive, but flashes are blowing on that bot side.
Yeah, and you got to count both sides of the flash trade here.
Yes, sir. Oh, we'll count later, as Froggen's going to be mid. There's another flash. We can continue counting with this game so far. Gold's even as no kills come out of both a bot lane and mid lane engaged from the junglers.
And it is really rough for Froggen to have the flash blown in this matchup. Diana can actually, with the changes here, you know the dash was moved to the E, so you can be more offensive earlier on. Huni waiting here with the barrel, though.
Nice shot. Quick cocoon onto Closer. That's going to be the focus for the damage. Now onto Goldenglue as he's the caboose of the fight. But it doesn't look like too much more will be coming through for Dignitas on that. Good pressure in the lanes. You can kind of leave an Ornn by himself. He's not going to throw that in too hard. So Huni comes down to assist that mid lane.
And with all this aftermath, on the bottom side, actually more summoners were blown by Dig, offensively trying to go for the kill. Aphromoo flash and ignited. And Keith was the only one on Golden Guardians who had to defensively flash out. So they weren't feeling too bad about that gank on bottom side and about the trade, especially since the minion wave ended up right in front of their turret. As you can see, FBI, but the teleport right back to lane. Let's see if Grig can actually get the cocoon.
Oh, Volatile Spider immediately to alert that he's there. And Goldenglue heads towards his jungler side as Closer is hanging out mid, expecting something tricky to happen.
Trying to break the freeze right there. Grig doesn't want to let Goldenglue keep it in front of the turret. It's a really big minion wave, so there's no way you can tank all that damage. Closer through a ward here, though.
Super active junglers this game. I'm loving it. A hook comes out. Can easily be walked away from. Johnsun shouldn't have to do too much here, but drops some bullet rain. And they should be able to get him out. So much crowd control. And Aphromoo gets locked up for first blood. A relentless Golden Guardians continues the auto attacks to keep him down.
It's Keith's big brief once again. Closer is on a ward, so it feels like both Aphro and Johnsun were just looking at Closer on that ward.
Yeah.
And Aphro just kind of walks away from the brush that Keith was in. He walks up, lands the hook there with the easy movement, lanterning him in. And even though Aphro gets a good E over to the other side, he still has the play. So they finish off the kill before Grig arrives. That is a rough one because they did have information that Closer was there, but Keith able to land the death sentence. And no jukes means that is a first blood cash in for the Golden Guardians.
And I really like the patience he had there too. A lot of Threshes will go in, you hit the Q, you're right next to him, you flay. Held it, he knew Closer could walk in, get the flag and drag, and then flay. A lot of Fs and drags and flags. That was a tough one. But with that play, you can kind of see Keith feeling more comfortable in the support position, ready to make plays, and Golden Guardians is going to put resources to that bot lane to make it happen.
Yep, only possible downside you could say would be, oh, the kill credit actually went over to Keith, so he did get the lion's share of the money.
Ruined.
But that's just going to go fund his mobility boots here, as you see. Possibilities for Keith roaming will come up pretty soon with First Blood. He did invest it all in that. And Thresh is actually a very good roaming support. So let's see if he actually goes around and helps out the rest of the team. Currently, they're holding the minion wave very carefully in a nice spot, pushing towards them, which allows Closer to be on the top side, grabbing Scuttle, and see if they can get some priority. Maybe Huni will be a possibility of a dive option here. They pushed him in, but just get some deep wards for themselves, as you can see on the wolf camp right there. Goldenglue went real deep to try and keep track of Grig.
I think that wave you were talking about that got pushed into Goldenglue, when Grig pushed it, had a lot of different health on the minions. You can see the wave Froggen cleaned up, put him about 2 waves up over for Goldenglue. So that really helped out in the early game with that chaos in the mid. Hopefully it keeps Froggen safe here, as his flash being down, as we said, gets pretty dangerous against the Diana. Little blue buff trade here. Well, looks like Closer will take that, just making sure that nobody was going to be over there as well.
And look what it's traded for, though. Grig gives up on the blue buff, knows he's been invaded on top side, and goes for the early dragon. Now, Cloud Drake in itself isn't going to be a huge boost of power right now, but if he can secure it, and they're able to make the bottom lane play that we're talking about in Champ Select, where we go, oh yeah, Gangplank ultimate plus Misfortune and Leona ultimate should be a very big play for them on the bottom side. If you already stacked your early dragon, trading it for top side priority with that invade, this could lead to a possible win condition for Dig in stacking up there.
BF sword in for FBI. Gonna be a quick Doran stack with a long sword for Johnsun. He'll stay safe until he needs to ult in this lane. You don't really want to start trading with an Aphelios and a BF sword. Good push up by Keith, so they keep protection on the bot side. And we'll have to see where that next advantage comes from either of the junglers, or maybe a solo kill in lane. Looks like farming for now on both top and bottom. Huni versus Hauntzer, 63 to 74. Huni only missing CS because he left that lane for the early engage on this, but I'm still waiting to see if Hauntzer gets a good TP play in here to follow what could be the cannon barrage from Gangplank.
Yeah, and the CS on the bottom side too, after the gank is successful disengage from Golden Guardians and then return kill as closer came by. That's also resulted in some extra CS and power for the Aphelios, who, when you get your BF sword by to actually match all this flat attack damage that Misfortune goes for with this more inefficient Doran stacking that we've seen from a lot of them too, because once you sell your Dorans later, they sell back for a weaker price.
I love it. He's got the Chakram stack off of the passive. You can stack up to 20. They last 5 seconds, but you have to keep hitting an enemy right in front of the turret. It's going to be the combo, but it's not enough to take down Keith. And FBI continues the Calibrum Crescendum stack.
Oh, top side, Rift Herald fight. They're actually going to trap him.
That's going to be the Shockwave coming in. They're on to the middle lane now. Froggen looks like he could have a big problem here. Over the wall goes Goldenglue, finishing the final auto attacks, and the fight's still on the top side with Grig and Hauntzer as he gets the Brittle stack down. Hauntzer now gets stopped in from Huni's damage, and it's a 3v1 for the man in the top lane. It doesn't look like they want it right away, and Huni is standing tall right now.
Grig actually still behind them. Does he want to risk flanking? I don't think so.
Wow, Huni is making Golden Guardians walk the plank straight up river, and he's going to just take his own lane back. That's amazing.
Respect the Pirates.
Seriously.
Now, so many things went on at the same time there. That bottom lane play would have been the level 6 kill that we're talking about, where Johnsun and Aphromoo went all in on Keith with the double ultimates under tower. If they had been able to use Gangplank ultimate there also, it would have killed Keith off. But because the Rift Herald play was on at the same time, Huni had to use his ultimate on the Rift Herald play to try and chase them off of that, even though it ended up still being closer getting the Rift Herald.
Good point.
They try to use it to win the top side as well, and in the end, they don't get kills on either point. And you get the added hilarious benefit of Huni chasing off 3 members.
Sunfire cape to his now purchased Sheen in lane, so while he gets the damage upgrade, it's also going to be hitting a brick wall still with Hauntzer. Closer back into his jungle to farm up. Both junglers keeping it a pretty good clip with Closer's assist towards that bot lane of the map. We haven't seen too much action otherwise, and they could make a repeat gank with the flashes being down on that side.
All right, trying to get some wards up here. Golden Guardians don't want to let Stig stack those dragons like we were talking about from the earlier play, so some wards behind the pit leading up to it, as well as trying to control the river here. They also got Scryer's Bloom to actually proc on Grig there, as Closer went in to throw that one down. And since Goldenglue pushes the wave, you get some mid priority. That allows you to come in for the jungle invade here. Easy enough, but it is in full vision of Dig. They know that Goldenglue's got to be going there.
That bot lane, one of the lanes I was looking at this game, FBI is 117 to the 93 of Johnsun. MF still able to put out quite a bit of power, but those items have to be finished, and I think they're just duking it out in farm right now. It seems like it's going to be a bit of a longer laning phase for them, as we didn't even see bot lane coming up for the Rift Herald. They were still just toying with the engage of Leona and Thresh on the bot side, trying to protect their supports. Here they may come up for a bit of a tussle in the jungle. Grig looking at a lot of Golden Guardian members right now, and he's going to drop right into that frying pan. A few more shots, and he will go down. FBI picks up a kill from the bot side as they had priority, and Dig pushed into their turret.
Yep, again, it's all about the setup, Riv. Goldenglue did the exact same thing. Push up mid, then come in for the invade. And Grig sticks around, and not only that, you know, the bottom lane also came up, but Grig sticks around to go and try and go for the smite fight. Closer immediately punishes him for it. He knows Grig has no flash from the Rift Herald fight there. When you're in this situation and you don't have lane priority on either side of your buff, you got to give that one up. Then he uses the Rift Herald afterwards. True damage finishes off the entire thing. Golden Guardians will not only get the red buff, the kill on the jungler, the bottom tower, all of the turret plates, but also your mountain dragon.
That's smart. I'm like, hit that last plate, but he's letting it kill more minions, so it pushes farther. All the smart plays coming in from FBI and bot lane. And as you said, Mountain Drake, we are going to get a fiery rift as Inferno's about to change everything in this game.
So, I believe it was Crumbs who bet on Golden Guardians for this game for the...
Yeah, he was the only one, right? Yep, on the left.
I think he's feeling pretty good about how the early stages are going here.
Prophet Crumb's coming back.
Grig is going to try and go get the red buff back. Small consolation prize there after all of the rewards have already been taken by Golden Guardians off the map. And then once you take your bottom tower, swap your AD carry and support up to the top side. You know there's no more neutral objective in the Dragon for 4.5 more minutes here. Still for the Infernal Drake to spawn down there, so they can just rotate over.
Oh, good flash on the Solar Flare. That's really going to help. The Shockwave pulls Goldenglue back in. Froggen in the middle of the fight as well. Which mid laner goes down first? They both drop, but it is going to be Goldenglue as we see Hauntzer now coming into the fight to get a kill for himself. That's the Ornn horn, and the dinner bell is rung onto Aphromoo. They grab Leona, a nice hook coming in from Keith. It just does not end. The crowd control follow-up is not going to be there as Huni starts to deliver the damage back to GG. As the marksman just firing back and forth on the top side. So much action on the top of the map, and we've yet to see them really participate in it.
Big teleport there by Hauntzer, and they actually make the call. Goldenglue turns around instead of escaping. He could have walked away from Aphromoo with that 200 HP or whatever that he was at, but they wanted to commit to get those extra kills, and in the end, they do get more out of it, even though Goldenglue does sacrifice his life here to make the turnaround. But this is how it all starts. You called it out live. That small second there where Goldenglue was able to get the flash away from the extra stun of the Solar Flare is everything, and since he goes back in, they do have the damage to finish off Froggen there. Hauntzer with the teleport in on the Ornn is able to secure the extra kill. Then Keith hits another hook here onto Grig, slows him down with the box, and they're able to push him off and get some damage on the turret as well. All the while, their Golden Guardians duo lane up on the top side there. FBI was pushing ahead and still creating pressure on that turret. These outers are going to be not long for this world on the side of Dig.
20 CS differences traded between the mid and the bot lane, so you can kind of equal that one out. And top has really evened itself out as well. These turrets getting dropped, though. A lot of gold to be picked here by Golden Guardians as Dignitas, under their nose of Golden Guardians, starts the Rift Herald. We'll see how this fight ends.
Yeah, could be rough for them. Goldenglue's bottom, but he has teleport. So Golden Guardians can pull a pincer movement here if they decide to go for it, and they do have ults ready. The Ornn one is very close to coming off cooldown.
This could be the hit. Rift Herald goes down, going to grab the eye on the top side. It's going to be closer as the fight continues. That's a Gravitum ultimate that roots Dignitas, Huni, and Grig. And now here comes the Ornn horn. He's just outside of range. It happens. It happens, and you hate to see it. Hauntzer was looking to just get that bit of distance with the ult.
The Ram has a pretty wide lane, and you can cheat it sometimes where like the back of Ornn's head is all that really has to be in there to get the connect, but he was well outside of his lane there, Riv. In the end, it doesn't matter because he was able to breathe fire on him and finish him off with the bellow there. But it was actually killed. That Rift Herald was killed by Dignitas and Grig. In the end, nobody could actually go pick it up. And it despawns quicker now than it did previously in 2019. So they're able to defend the eyeball there, and nobody's able to pick it up on the side of Dig. So all this effort they put into starting up this Rift Herald, that just turns into a death for them. Here's the teleport channel we talked about. Closer goes in to try and contest it. Then Grig's walking around over there. He doesn't quite step on the eyeball before flashing away. And then Hauntzer, as you know, is able to chase him down. Nobody else can really follow here. Goldenglue on your screen, kind of the distraction, ran into 4 of them and is able to work his way out. Doesn't quite have his stopwatch yet built up to try and combine for these Zonias either. So it was a little bit more of a dangerous play, but they dealt enough damage to Dig to chase him off there. And seems like Dig are completely out of sorts now. Golden Guardians are running this one.
The fight comp they've put together here can pretty much just continue to overrun that front-end damage you would see from a Shockwave and whatnot. Yeah, they get displaced, but Hauntzer's still coming at you. Goldenglue's still trying to find his target, and that's a very scary fight when you think you've changed the kind of pace of it. What a fight there as well. feeling for Hauntzer. I played a lot of Ornn lately. I know exactly what that feels like. You're missing your ult.
Stay in your lane, Riv!
It's tough.
This should be easy, though, because you mentioned it's very easy to pull off this team fight for Golden Guardians. So now that they have so much control, they can easily push in mid lane here. As you can see, Goldenglue already pushed up that top side. Dragon is spawning. It's an Infernal Drake. They should be able to pick it up without any retort from Dig.
I think it's got to be noted that Hauntzer's above Froggen here. You think of Ornn as a tank, but if he's hitting his riddles, he's hitting his skills, you are putting out a massive amount of damage. And Froggen still needs to get in a good team fight here, but to see Hauntzer coming up that big is definitely helping GG.
And that's only the taxable income. He's also got the non-taxable income of the Ornn item that he's going to upgrade himself. That's cash only there for Sunfire upgrades. Nobody really knows about that one. They don't really account for it in the graph. He would actually skyrocket to #1 right now.
Hauntzer just dealing with a fly on the wall. He feels it. Maybe they can close in on him. The team's on the other side of the map, but that would cause Dig a long chase and a lot of map loss and control right now. They stand tall in mid. Looks like they'll just start going for a few waves until the sides can get pushed up. And they get an engage. Maybe that's now saved by the lantern. They leave it out there for him, but they do get the ult out. That could be a nice engage coming in from Golden Guardians in the next minute or so.
Honestly, Keith here with another nice play on the Thresh. Able to get the lanterns in place as well as the hooks to land so far for this team. And Golden Guardians just firing on all cylinders right now. They don't have to pressure too much right now. Let's see if Hauntzer can actually get out of this one. He does currently have Cleanse from his spellbook, Flash and Cleanse. Very good at evading a 3v1 scenario, especially since he is so tanky. Also getting his second Ornn upgrade for himself already. Feels very secure down there. So all the Golden Guardians have to do to finish out this game is continue to push up these side lanes a little bit. They don't have to push them very far, by the way. You just do this little half push that Goldenglue did there, this half push that Hauntzer did here, let it walk into the turret. All you really need is that little bit of extra vision of the minions moving up and keep Dig kind of corralled in their own territory. And then you just wait for the neutrals to come help you win the game yourselves. Dragon stacking going to be quite easy for them. 3 minutes left on this next Infernal Dragon, and an Infernal Soul will be in the cards for this team.
Should have Crescendum Calibrum for that as well. Definitely tough to fight around. Aphromoo caught ward hopping. We'll see if he can get out of this one. Still tanky. He's Leona, gonna have to flash. Now flash and ult will be up soon, but they've been able to kind of get resources out of Aphromoo each time Golden Guardians tries to do something or kind of puts the bait onto the map. Now mid's gonna get pushed, and that'll be the final outer turret here for Dig if they can get it down.
Gangplank ultimately used here for Dig to try and defend it. And you can see the reasoning in that if the mid tower goes down, not only do they have to worry, well, Aphromo's got no flash, remember.
Really? Oh, he can kill him! He can kill him! Oh my god, he hits the Ornn horn!
Strike! Woo! Yeah, pretty easy to hit it there on the no flash Leona, and the Baron is gone, by the way. Hauntzer just took aggro on half of the Dig team by soloing Aphromoo.
There's a hell of a lot of damage coming out of that man right now.
Yeah, when you got the Crescendum there for Aphelios, he becomes a Baron Assassinator.
Yep.
Melts right through it with the extra damage, and Golden Guardians well on their way to another victory for themselves in the LCS. This team has really started to shape up. So many analysts, myself included, had them ranked very low at the bottom of the standings coming in from preseason, looking at the rosters, but they have been able to fight their way up here after a fairly slow start, starting to rack up a lot of wins.
And definitely feeling good on a bit of a streak. Liquid into CLG. If you can take down Dignitas now, you're going to have FlyQuest next, which will still be a bit of a fight, but they are on a roll, and it seems like they're using that momentum here to continue moving forward. Hauntzer stepping up this game. Bot lane stepping up as well. We've seen it from everywhere on Golden Guardians, especially the jungle too.
Honestly, it really all turns around when this bottom lane started performing super well. FBI, last game, they were talking about the Kaisa jumping in, getting a lot of these kills. Keith has started landing his skill shots, is there with the Thresh Lantern, good positioning, saving people. And I think that Hauntzer was already performing well, that wasn't a problem for them.
Right.
And you like to see that he can be that consistent Ornn presence for them as well. And the bottom side 1v basically 4, where he catches out Aphromoo, draws the entire team away from Baron, opening up an effortless objective for the team.
Yeah.
Just goes to show how much control they do have over Dig.
He already just had 3 hovering down towards him again. They're considering it, but then what did they lose on the other side of the map? Goldenglue's pushed up. They have the 1-3-1 perfectly going on the side of Golden Guardians now.
Yeah. And everything just coming crashing down around Dig now. They've got split push Baron active. 3 lanes at once are taking turrets, basically, as the Golden Guardians just ramp up.
And it becomes tougher. We were talking a bit about the pressure Hauntzer can create, and he's down there with still an outer line of turrets. If he did have to escape, he just walks to the bottom lane or right up to the mid lane where his team was. No turrets are taken down for Dignitas yet.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, the Golden Guardians lineup right now is also well equipped to dive. So even if you withstand all of this pressure right now and your inhibitor towers don't go down, they're still threatening. Look at this, Jarvan has Stoneplate already. The Cinderhulk Stoneplate Rush Jarvan can actually start things off. That being said, Hauntzer as well is ridiculously tanky on Ornn, so they have the possibilities of also forcing it, even if Dig try and play their super defensive huddle behind towers. We got to farm for late. Maybe we can get a barrel chain onto the back line.
Yep.
There will always be options here for the Golden Guardians. And there you go, Dragon number 3, Soul Point acquired for the Infernal Soul.
Wow. And it just seems like a systematic shutdown as well that Golden Guardians is able to do against Dignitas. Johnsun sitting on 170 gold and trying to build up an Infinity Edge where there's 2 items finished on FBI. So you can just see Dignitas is sharing these CS so early, they're not even really able to get anybody items, not get kill items, not get turrets.
Can they get a turret, though?
Maybe. It's not going to finish those items they're looking for, though. It's tough. Huni's going to be able to grab top, but it takes the team being there 25 minutes into the game.
Also, this is my ideal first teammate upgrade for an Ornn item.
The Infernal Edge?
Yeah, if you can get your AD carry, the first...
Molten Edge.
Exactly.
Sorry.
First upgrade there. Not only is Johnsun already super rich because of the almost flame horizon he has over Johnsun, FBI there, by the way. He also has the extra efficiency here of the gold upgrade onto the DPS carry for the team. So
And for a stopwatch still.
it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it feels great for them. Like you said, the stone plates are there for the tanks to be on the front line and really absorb everything Dignitas has, and they could do that before. Now it's even harder. Dignitas just checked the real hard mode for this game. Golden Guardians 6-1, 26 minutes in, and as of yesterday, we've been getting some pretty fast games. Maybe Golden Guardians can do it again.
All right, let's set up the play then, because the exit plan here for Golden Guardians should be, don't overextend at all right now. Goldenglue just achieving level 16 now on the Diana. They already have this full line of wards up to Baron. And Baron is going to arrive in 1 minute. So all you have to do, push 1 more wave. That gives you that 30 seconds. Go over to the Baron. We know how fast they can melt it. See if round 2, actually, they can speed run their earlier Baron kill and beat their time, because it is so ridiculously dangerous for Dig to walk through that entire jungle, through all those wards, into this team that has Thresh and Ornn that will pick you off, and the easy hard engage to finish off this team fight. So see if they can actually do it. They're grouping up on the Baron. 1 more minion wave to go. Goldenglue down bottom side with his teleport ready. Does finish off that minion wave, and they can start it up.
On to push and top. Let's see. We've been kind of waiting for all the ultimates to come together here for Dignitas. Can they get that cannon barrage with the bullet timeout from Misfortune? Quick clear.
Yep, waiting for the pick here. Do it!
Johnsun, be careful, they're behind you! It's like that school play when you're a kid.
They're like, all right, I guess we'll take Aphro. He flashes.
There's the knock-up, the brittle damage to follow as well, with FBI cleaning that up with Calibrum shots. A nice Zenith Blade escape, but all too late. there for Aphromoo as he goes down. Flash as well in that instant, so the Leona engage is shortened if they are able to get 5 back up here, but it looks like Golden Guardians is going to pressure the 5v4 Baron objective.
All right, let's see if they get some miracle steal, because at the beginning of the game, we talked about the best part of Grig in the LCS are the neutral objective steals and secures that he's been able to get. They don't go for it, though. They go for the fight.
Ooh, closer going down. This could really make it less than a 50-50, though. Just short. Little Matrix dodge from Closer as he gets out of that one.
Dig fighting back. Because they chunked 2 members that low, they can actually take the turret. More money here. Ooh. And the member of Dig that has, the only member that has instilled fear into the Golden Guardians all game long has been Huni. That's the only one that they have respected so far. He's got his 3-item power spike on the Gangplank. He is still farming away. He is their hope. The Dignitas hope here. Gangplank in the mid lane.
Want to see him do it. You can see him chatting on the bottom left hand of your screen right now. Poised and ready to keep that CS coming into his pocket.
He's ready to 1v3 again.
Yes, here he goes. Can he dodge it? Hit by the horn. Gonna hold on to the orange. He's fine for that. And no follow-up. And the Guardians just fishing.
And the win, the miracle win here for Dig looks like Huni getting a barrel chain onto Aphelios. Aphelios is one of those 80 carries that will not be able to react super quickly to a barrel chain. Currently, the problem is that he has flash and cleanse, so it's gonna be hard to do that. But if one guy is going to do it for Dig, it's gonna be Huni. Can they also get that Shockwave Leona combo for their engaged setup? Maybe it's a possibility. They've waited all game for it, Riv. Can they pull it off?
Oh, they go next to the wall. No Ornn horn for Hauntzer, so they got to be careful here. They don't have the engage to follow up with Closer. He goes in way too fast.
They did it!
Still on the backside. Lantern's down. Goes for the hook, and he's only going to get Aphromoo in the beginning, but the damage is still dealt by the DPS on the back line of Dig. There's the Shockwave coming in, but it's Inferno from FBI! On him the whole time, and he's still able to unleash the fire onto Dignitas.
Ooh, it really looked like Dig were going to be able to make it out of this one. But they get killed. Keith now picked off. It's a two members left. Ah.
Oh, my word. He's up. He's down. He gets taken out. I swear FBI has a broom taking down the spiders left and right. Froggen's now going to get brittled slow. That's the exhaust coming out from the unsealed spellbook of Hauntzer. Does he have the chase? Cooldowns for Ornn here on too high, so he could get another slam against the wall, but they'll give up Froggen, and they will come away with Infernal Soul on the side of Golden Guardian.
And probably the Baron as well, since there's a Warmogs there on Hauntzer. He heals right back up the full. FBI's got plenty of damage, as we have seen in the last team fight, and they'll be able to burn it down.
3 full items for him, and he has the Hurricane now. This synergizes so nicely with his weapons. They're going to be able to take down Baron. 31 minutes in. Golden Guardian now. It looked to put the finishing touches on this game. Should not go too much longer with the power they have, and we'll see how they adjust it to this fight, too.
And this is a rare desync on the engage here for Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
Because they had used the Ornn horn earlier, there's not really follow-up for Closer. And Closer engages over there. As you can see, no DPS can follow up with that moment for him. Then they get the really good counter engage here for Froggen, shockwaving down. Problem is, they group up there, and Aphelios, FBI comes in, burns him down with the Infernum, and earns both major objectives in the aftermath. Look at that damage chart! Ah!
Gross. Last team fight, by the way. That wasn't the other chart of all games.
That's a big Aphelios middle finger, actually.
Yep. It might be in the wrong spot, but it's okay. It's okay. 11-4 here. Like we were saying, Golden Guardians now need to use this power to push the lanes down. All too often we can see this fizzle out. It seemed to be too okay with their lead and let somebody get caught out. Closer gets himself safe there. Solar Flare is going to be missed as well, as a bit of a touch-and-go situation is moved on from by Golden Guardians to keep clearing the lanes now.
All right, Baron buff number 2 and Infernal Soul this time around. So you get to watch some pretty explosions on top of it.
Huni critting for days up there. Cloak on cloak. Oh my word. So he's got the Cleaverum out with the Crescendum turret, which is also going to do damage. And you can easily take that out with the Baron up minions, but not safe enough to walk too much closer for the inhibitor. Dignitas is ready to fight.
All right, stopwatches as well on Goldenglue and FBI. So the carries of Golden Guardians will be able to buy time even if they do get picked off here. So Dig have to choose their moment wisely. Once again, can they get the lockdown here? Aphromoo Solar Flare setting up group here for the Shockwave. Could pull it off. The only problem is, again, FBI didn't have to use his summoners in that last team fight to get those kills. So he still has his Flash and Cleanse ready to deal with pretty much everything.
Now let's see if this happens again where FBI has Inferno and Goldenglue pulls them together and they just get destroyed. What a combination we saw previously, but it looks like they're able to go around the horn here, take every one of the turrets that they need, and stand staring Dig straight in the eye for one of the final fights of the game. Oh my word. The follow-up damage. Huni can't even stand behind the minions. Moonlight Vigil is going to miss as FBI does his favorite dance in the base of Dignitas. A bit of an engage from closer there. They take Grig down on the top side as they wear away at the last inhibitor of Dignitas' base. A systematical takedown from Golden Guardians onto Dignitas, and they will move up to even up in the standings with Dignitas as they go to 4-4.
GG Golden Guardians.
Hauntzer is loving it.
Yeah, he had a fun time up there on Ornn, actually. He gets his solo kill on the enemy support as well with the team around.
It's a good time. His VO too, it makes you so happy while you're playing. You should play some more, and if you don't, I promise you, you'll have a good time. You'll have a Hauntzer time, if you will, as they shake the hands of their opponents, Dignitas, who seemed, like you said, Kobe, out of sorts, I think was a good word after the first few kills towards the bot lane, and then it just seemed like the tempo was set by Golden Guardians.
Yeah, once the Dig early game went splat there, they were unable to really mount any sort of counterattack. Golden Guardians did a good job snowballing. There was that one team fight mid after they were too far behind where they did get closer sectioned off. They could DPS them down, try to get the re-engage, but not enough as too much damage already built up on the Aphelios. And you talked about the setup play there. Goldenglue charging in.